Hello, so this is National Hispanic Heritage Month. People who made history. During Hispanic Heritage Month and beyond, take a look at just a few notable Hispanic Americans who have changed the course of history. Hello, so this is part 2. So we have Sylvia Rivera. We have to be visible. We should not be ashamed of who we are. We are numerous. There are many of us out here. Venezuelan and Puerto Rican Americans, Sylvia Rivera was an LGBTQ rights pioneer. New York City Stonewall Inn is now a historic landmark and destination for pride celebrations. But in 1969, brave patrons like Rivera were resisting an unlawful raid by police. The riots at Stonewall were a turning point in history for equal rights. Rivera went on to be the co-founder of the Gay Liberation Front, the Sylvia Rivera Law Project, which provides legal representation and support to those in the trans, non-binary, and non-gender conforming communities, was established in 2002, shortly after her death. Elena Ross Latinth. Elena Ross Latinth was born in Cuba in 1952 and immigrated to the United States at the age of 8. Her family settled in Miami. She was elected to the Florida House of Representatives and then to the Florida Senate, becoming the first Hispanic woman to serve in both. In 1989, she ran for a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives against Democrat Gerald F. Richmond, who used the campaign slogan, "This is an American seat." Many viewed this as anti-Cuban and anti-Hispanic rhetoric, and in a backlash, Elena won the election, making her the first Hispanic ever to serve in the United States Congress. Roberto Clement, originally from Puerto Rico, Robert Clement Walker, came to the United States to play Major League Baseball in 1954. He spent his career as a right fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates, though he was an elite athlete, achieving more than 3,000 base hits by the end of the career. Clement faced racial bias in the United States. This led Clement to become an advocate for Latino and Black players' rights in baseball. He died in a plane crash in 1972, en route to bring relief to earthquake-stricken Nicaragua. He believed in a life of serving others. Anytime you have an opportunity to make a difference in this world and you don't, then you are wasting your time on earth. Clement was the first Hispanic baseball player to be inducted in the MLB Hall of Fame, and he helped pave the way for future generations of Latino ball players to join the game. Octavio LaRazzo, born in Chihuahua, Mexico in 1859. He immigrated to the United States as a boy and was raised in New Mexico. A Republican from New Mexico, he was a champion of civil rights and equal treatment for Hispanic Americans. This made him popular with New Mexico voters, who would elect him to be the 4th governor of New Mexico in 1918. 10 years later, he was elected to the United States Senate, making him the first Hispanic American to serve as a U.S. Senator. Sonia Sotomayor. In 2009, Bronx-born Latina Sonia Sotomayor became the first Hispanic Supreme Court Justice of the United States. She was nominated by President Barack Obama and confirmed by the Senate in a vote of 68 to 31. Sotomayor holds a BA from Princeton and a law degree from Yale University. Her long career includes time spent as assistant director, district attorney for New York County, being a judge for the U.S. District Court, and serving as a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Sotomayor has been outspoken about how her unique experience as a Latina has contributed to her work as a judge. Rita Moreno, born Rosita Dolores Alviro. Rita Moreno is the first Hispanic woman to win an Academy Award and is one of the few people to hold the honor of being a PEGOT winner. She has won Peabody, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards over the course of her career, which has spanned more than 70 years. Although her long career has taken her from stage to screen, this Bronx girl is most famous for her portrayal of Anita in the 1962 film West Side Story, one of the best movie musicals for which she won her Academy Award. Moreno has spoken openly about emotional trials in her life, including deep depression and a suicide attempt during a really bad relationship with Marlon Brando. A true survivor, Moreno continues to work and entertain today at the age of 89. Sylvia Mendez. Not many know that 7 years back, before 1954's Brown v. Board of Education ruling integrated American schools, a young California girl's family fought for her to attend an all-white school. Sylvia Mendez was a small girl when she tried to register to attend school in Westminster, California. The school superintendent testified that those of Mexican descent were intellectually, culturally, and morally inferior to European Americans. Sylvia Mendez's parents, Gonzalo and Felicitas, would have none of it. They united with other local Chicano families and hired a lawyer. They won their case, and in 1946, California schools became integrated by law. Cesar Chavez, once called one of the heroic figures of our time by then-Senator Robert Kennedy. Cesar Chavez lived a life of service to justice and equal rights. As the first-generation American son of farm workers in Arizona, he was drawn to a life of activism. After serving in the Navy in 1946, Chavez returned home and became a community organizer. First as a leader in the San Jose Community Service Organization, and then by establishing the National Farm Workers Association. Chavez led successful marches, strikes, fasts, and protests, and was inspired by peaceful resistance movements and leaders, including Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi. His legacy lives on in Latinx and workers' rights movements going on today. Finally, we have Ruben Salazar. Ruben Salazar was just an infant when his family immigrated to the United States from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. He would go on to become one of the first Mexican-American journalists in mainstream media. His work was particularly significant because it highlighted the lives of Chicanos. Salazar was raised in El Paso and served in the Army before becoming a journalist for the Los Angeles Times. In his career, he focused on injustice being done to those in the Chicano community. While covering a protest of the Vietnam War, the Chicano Memoriam in 1970, his life was cut short by a tear gas projectile thrown by the police.